What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some news that's coming out involving Tesla, what you should be watching for as time goes on. Because the overall market is showing some weakness, and this is causing Tesla to dip, not to mention many other factors. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. You deposit $100, you guaranteed 5 free stocks. You deposit $1,000, you guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer is in just about 1 day from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, in my video from yesterday, I was hoping that we would see some buyers try to defend Tesla right here. And if we reject it, then we'd be looking for a continuation lower. Instead, we're just getting the continuation lower with no sort of bounce. And that's a little bit unusual because typically what happens is when we have deliveries coming out, we do see buyers step in the week of them, at least to start things off. But in this case, we haven't been able to do that because the whole market is very weak. So the weakness in the market is because of different factors: tax harvesting, profit taking, and then also these hedge funds adjusting their balance sheets. And then also there's been a lot of talk about potential turmoil in 2025. We have a new presidency that's coming up, and then there's also uncertainty about what's going to happen with inflation. And the Fed has also mentioned that they're not going to be cutting rates as much as initially expected. So all those different factors coming into the new year are causing the market to kind of end things on the lower end, especially with lots of profit taking. And this is still affecting Tesla to a large extent. Now, could this also suggest that analysts are not as excited about deliveries? That's always a possibility, but not a guarantee until we see the numbers. So just keep that in mind. All right, so there's been some talk, at least according to reports, that Tesla has this new thing going on with a joystick that's very similar to an Xbox controller that's going to be used for the Cybercab. This is what reports are saying. However, it's not necessarily confirmed by Tesla. This is just a report that's saying that many of the Cybercabs may have a manual controller built in that could be used to just adjust like acceleration and factors like that. Not a guarantee, though. We don't know for sure unless Tesla confirms. This is just what some reports are saying. So I want to make that very, very clear. However, just know that as far as they're going to be going, Tesla's going to be incorporating remote teleprompters just in case something else ends up happening. So there's going to be people on the sidelines who are going to be monitoring how these vehicles end up moving with FSD, and they will help control them in case something goes wrong. Just to start things off, because remember, excuse me, FSD is relatively new. It's going to take time for it to completely develop. So will there be controllers built into them? I don't know for sure, guys. We're still waiting to see on that. I haven't seen Tesla confirm that quite yet. So will the Cybercab have that? We'll see. But still, a very interesting piece of news, at least to start things off. But nonetheless, regardless of that, I still think they are going to be developing this new technology that's going to help them become a lot more autonomous as years progress. So it's still bullish nonetheless for the long term despite that. So I want to make that very clear. Now, there's also this news coming out that Tesla's going to be reporting its fourth quarter and full year deliveries in just a couple of days. It's going to likely be before the market opens on Thursday, January 2nd. And right now, analysts are expecting above 500,000 deliveries. Some reports were saying 506,000. We also have Barclays saying 515,000. So we have to do above 514 something thousands to see growth compared to last year. And then we also need to see, something like that, at least above 500,000. That's what many of these analysts are expecting. So we'll see if Tesla achieves that or not. If they don't, it's going to be bearish. If they do, it could be more bullish. So we'll see about that. Besides that, there's a lot of things going on right now for the markets. We are seeing a lot of selling towards the end of this year. It's affecting the Nasdaq, the QQQ, and the others. And besides that, I didn't see anything else that's too crazy, at least as time goes on. The CEO of Google, his name is Sundar Pichai, he said that we should be bracing for a critical year in 2025. So once again, there's going to be tougher competition, more regulatory skepticism around the world. So that's a very, very important warning. So I just wanted to make that clear. Now, today is Monday, December 30th. Just know at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Chicago PMI reports. Besides that, at 10:30 a.m., we have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Then we have the 3 and 6 month bill auctions at 11:30 a.m. So look for the main volatility move at 9:45 a.m. And there's nothing coming out for earnings as a reminder. So what do I see for Tesla? Well, honestly, guys, we look more bearish on Tesla. We're going to be looking for a test of this 414 support, very close to where this low is right over here. If 414 fails, we're looking for 409. very close to 410 if anything. And if that fails us, we could be dumping all the way down to about 400 to 398. So please keep that in mind. To turn back up, you want to get back above 431. If we can't reclaim 431, Tesla will likely be, dipping down to about 414, followed by 410 and below. So just keep that in mind. There is that downside potential now. We did not see buyers defend this. They were not able to get us to get back above 431 as they typically would on deliveries weeks. So because there aren't buyers stepping in, we do look more bearish, and there's going to be a risk of Tesla testing these lows. For SPY, we look more bearish as well. We got this big rejection, big red bar. I was thinking it would rebound first and then continue lower. Instead, we are not getting much of a rebound. We just remain bearish. The 4 hour still has this head and shoulders. So if you zoom out like this, there's a left shoulder here, there's a head up here, and there's a right shoulder. We got to get back above 592. Otherwise, we favor a move all the way down to 585. If that fails us, I think that we're going to be at risk of dipping down into like the, not only 580 area, but potentially to the lowest that we saw, like 576, 575 or below. So we'll be watching 585 to be tested. If that fails, we're going to be dumping even more closer to 580. There's a big head and shoulders, and we still look more bearish on SPY. Yes, has the same setup. There's a left shoulder here. There's a head and a right shoulder. We need to see it reclaim 6,000. Otherwise, it's going to be at risk of dipping to about 59.25 or below. So it looks more bearish to me. For Nvda, we look more bearish. There's a lot of these rejections that just keep forming on the charts. This also resembles a head and shoulders. We need to reclaim 437. Otherwise, we favor a move all the way down to about 432.9 and then all the way down to 430. So just give this the time it needs. For Bitcoin, we are on a bit of a downtrend. We have like a head and shoulders right over here. There's a left shoulder here. There's a head and a right shoulder. We're going to likely continue to dump all the way down to about 92,500. If that fails us, we're dipping back down to 90,000. So we look more bearish. We need to try to reclaim 95,000. Otherwise, we favor the downside move. For NQ, it's the same thing. We had this high up here. We came down, made a lower high. We need to reclaim 21,500. Otherwise, we favor a move all the way down to about 21,250. So this is also favoring the downside. For the QQQ, we had a high up here. We came down, made a lower high, then we rejected. We need to get back above 520. Otherwise, we're favoring a move back down to about 511. And if 511 fails us, we could be dipping back down to about 507. So I think this chart's favoring downside. 511 is going to be a very, very nice target. So I think the odds favor us dipping lower. Apple's looking weaker. My 252 target was made. We're looking for 251.87. If that fails us, we're looking for 250. We look more bearish to me. The IWM Russell 2000 rejected. It was not able to hold above 223.5, so we're favoring move all the way down to about 217 or below. Coin looks weaker. We're looking for an attempt to test 254. We got to bounce off this. Otherwise, we favor 250 flat. Amazon's looking weaker. Of course, we're selling off. This can be dipping down to about 217 if 220 fails us. Meta has to hold at 588, otherwise it favors this low. I also called out the inverse cup and handle my video from yesterday, so it could be dipping back down to 584. Microsoft's on a bit of a downtrend and needs to reclaim 431, otherwise it favors 421. And then Google needs to try to reclaim 192, otherwise it favors 188 or below. So the market looks bearish. The VIX is breaking out here. It's going to likely continue to run. And for now, guys, just watch supports on Tesla, especially as we approach 414, not to mention the 410 area. If those fail, we could be dipping to the much lower 400s, if not to 398. Thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day. I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update video. Until then, watch your supports and peace out.